Hi, Dan here, Scooter Magazine. Right, I'm just in the shed doing a few updates. You've probably seen the other videos. If not, I've done one on the SX200 RT225, the new ramps that I've got for working on in the shed, an update on the Targa twin exhaust moving from Clubman to expansion chamber, a bit about the crank truing wheels. Also, I've done a separate one on the Uni engine casings, which I'm going to be using in this build. But this particular video is more about the spec of the overall build, but specifically the TS1 kit. So on this build, this is for me. I've got to build my own engine. These are components that I'll be purchasing out of my own pocket. I've already bought the Uni casings. You can see those in a separate video. It's the Uni main case, chain cover and mag housing. I'll be matching that up with an Italian GP200 gearbox, 4-speed, probably a BGM rear hub, AF race speed or BGM lay shaft. I'll go for a 6-plate clutch of some description, whether that's separate plates that I build up or a cassette clutch, I haven't decided yet. Crank-wise, I'm hoping to go for, well, no, I will be going for the 62mm cranks which Darrell Taylor builds and sells. The reason I'm going for that one specifically is because his 60s and 62s, unlike a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them out on the market, a lot of them, if you buy the 62mm cranks, you need to trench the casings or make some other adjustments in order to fit those cranks. Darrell's come with some special machine work done to the conrods so that you can slot the 62mm crank straight in without any work to trenching the casings, and that's what I want to do. Simplicity of build is what I'm after. But that 62 will take my TS1 225 kit up to 240, so I'll have a nice big juicy 240cc engine. I have chosen the TS1 kit. Now, of all the stuff that's out there on the market, and there is a lot of great stuff, there's 300cc liquid cooled engines, there's 265 monster high performance 50 horsepower engines, there's all sorts. My personal budget doesn't stretch to that. I wish it did, it doesn't. But in any case, I have the knowledge to sort of cherry pick the components which I like, and then the knowledge to sort of build that and tune that and to get an all-round package. And the package I'm looking for is an engine that, with a Clubman pipe, will produce 30 horsepower. It will pull from almost tick over 1800 RPM in 4th gear and accelerate up to the peak pipe power point at the RPM range in the same gear. So I'm looking for a nice, tractable, flexible, broad spread of power using a Clubman pipe, but it's a dual engine. So if the mood takes me, I'll have an expansion chamber, which is no more changing than a bolt-on, bolt-off change of pipe, perhaps change of front sprocket just to re-gear it slightly, and that should largely be it. But really, I'm going for the Clubman-based engine, and I think if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll probably know which Clubman it is I'll be hankering after, if I can get my hands on one. The TS1 kit, it's been out a long time. That's one of the reasons I like it, because I know where I stand with it. I have tuned oodles of these for people, ported them in all sorts of different ways. You can fit them with a 110 rod, you can use different thicknesses, you know, smaller thickness of packer plate, drop the port timings and, you know, use a thicker head gasket and put on a little 25mm carb and a Clubman pipe, and you can produce a lovely little sort of touring kit for people to bob along on. You can fit them as standard, out of the box, with an expansion chamber like a France Speed Race or equivalent, and a 30mm Dell'Orto, set up nicely with the right port heights and squish, but with no tuning. You can get 20-21 horsepower out of the box, and then if you start tuning them, the sky's the limit really. You can go up to sort of some, you know, you can get up some good sort of 30s and 40s horsepower out of these old kits. So they're readily available, they're good value for money. You don't have to buy them as they come in the box. In the box they come with a perfectly adequate option of piston and a 30 quid option for the normal cylinder head which is available. I personally I don't have any problem using their inlet manifold. I like it, it gives reasonable results and it's included in the kit, so I don't have any problem with that. I buy their barrel. I like their reed block. The Tassinari V-Force V4 does give better performance. I think they cost about 100, 120 quid though. And for the extra performance you get out of that, it doesn't bother me. It's a little amount of performance for a lot of money. So I'm perfectly happy with the standard reed block that they give. And the piston that they also stock, that you can have if you ask nicely, is the Wossner piston. So I get the TS1 kit with the TS1 reed block and inlet manifold, but I ask for the Wossner piston. And they deduct the cost of the piston they're not selling you, add the cost of the upgrade, and it's not that much more money. And this is a lovely piston. So it comes with the 1mm race rings, forged piston, and then I marry that up with the Mammoth Head. So you've got the Mammoth Head here, extra cooling area, good sized combustion chamber in terms of its CC for the compression ratio that I'll be aiming for. So out of the box, I've already got high quality piston, high quality head, a decent reed block, decent inlet manifold, and a kit which is tried and tested, which I can then adjust with my porting tools, adjust the port timings of, set up with the 62mm crank, get a 240cc tuned engine, and then hopefully fit the... I like the fact that also the Mammoth Head comes with a metal. It's the enlarged head cowl cover to accommodate that size of head, and unlike some of the others that are plastic or fiberglass or, you know, carbon or whatever, this is a metal one which I prefer. So I should have a solid, hopefully, touch wood, bulletproof kit with high performance at the top end, but nice bottom end mid-range tractability with a linear power curve going throughout. And that is all achievable with the kit, which a lot of people think is old-fashioned and out of date. A TS1 kit. They're right there under your noses. You can twist and turn these kits whichever way you want in terms of touring, standard, performance with a clubman, performance with an expansion chamber. I used to work in the motorcycle industry, and one of the most popular selling motorcycles in the motorcycle industry was the CBR 600. And the reason it was one of the most popular selling motorcycles is that it was all things to all people. For people who wanted to plod around and tour, it was a really good plodder and tourer. For people who wanted to jazz it up with a carbon end can, some slick tyres, and they could do track days on it. If you wanted to, you know, go off touring, you could go off touring on them. They were a great all-rounder. So it didn't have the high performance of the Fireblade or the R1. It wasn't as daggy as, you know, some of the other sort of more boring machines. It was a great all-rounder. I think the TS1 is the CBR 600 of the scooter world. It is such a great all-rounder. That you can, you know, push and pull this in any which way you want, and you'll get good results out of it. Easily available, and so I'll be using it on my own TS1 240 build. As and when the build takes place, I'll get it on the bench, get the camera set up, let you see a bit of what's going on, see what's going on with the gearbox, the port timings, perhaps, and a few other bits, and then we'll get this out, fit it into the scooter, and do some test rides and see what we can make of it. That's all for now. That's the TS1 kit. Check out the other videos. See you in the next one.